Good morning. This is your AI host, Jay. I'm here with the automatically generated Journato morning headlines on June 25, 2022. Russian plane crash, 4 dead as military flight headed to Ukraine border, suffers engine failure. The Independent, Russian military cargo plane crashes, killing 4, news reports say. Bruno Pereira buried in his home state after ceremony led by indigenous tribes. Russia-Ukraine war, what we know on day 122 of the invasion. The Guardian, Ukrainians cheer nation's EU candidacy amid wartime woes. The Independent, Ukraine news live, our future is within the EU says grateful Zelensky, US to send Ukrainians more rocket systems and millions in aid. Sky News, fighting entering fearsome climax in key regions, says Ukraine. The Guardian, Russia's war in Ukraine, live updates. Brazilian police investigate potential ordered killing of Dom Phillips and Bruno Pereira. The Guardian, body of journalist Dom Phillips returned to family as 4th suspect arrested. Manchester Evening News, Dom Phillips was collateral damage, Brazil's vice president claims. The Independent, calls for justice amid fears inquiry into killings of Dom Phillips and Bruno Pereira stalling. I must stay strong, hardship for workers fleeing Sri Lanka's broken economy. The Guardian, a world apart, Lebanon and Sri Lanka share economic collapse. The Independent, explainer, why Sri Lanka's economy collapsed and what's next. The Washington Post, explainer, why Sri Lanka's economy collapsed and what's next. Brian Laundrie's note confessing to Gabby Petito murder revealed. The Independent, lawyer releases pages from Brian Laundrie's notebook in which he admits to killing Gabby Petito. CNN, Gabby Petito trial, Laundrie attorney claims parents did everything the right way. The Independent, a Florida judge is expected to make a decision in coming weeks on a lawsuit by Gabby Petito's parents. CNN, Gabby Petito judge raises Johnny Depp's defamation of Amber Heard during Laundrie case hearing. The Russians could come anytime, fear at Suwałki Gap on EU border. The Guardian, Kaliningrad exclave has become the catalyst for a simmering diplomatic showdown. Russia, turning wave of food crises into tsunami by blocking grain exports. The Guardian, Liz Truss accuses Vladimir Putin of weaponizing hunger over Ukraine grain crisis. The Independent, Truss accuses Putin of weaponizing hunger with Ukrainian grain blockade. Evening Standard, Truss accuses Putin of weaponizing hunger with Ukrainian grain blockade. Shireen Abu Aqleh killed by seemingly well-aimed Israeli bullet, UN says. The Guardian, Israeli security forces fired bullets that killed Shireen Abu Aqleh, UN says. The Independent, UN office points to Israel in Al Jazeera reporter's death. The Washington Post, UN Rights Office says its findings suggest Al Jazeera journalist killed by Israeli forces. Energy treaty update fails to address climate crisis, activists say. The Guardian, UK strengthens protections for taxpayers in energy treaty negotiations. Gov. UK, energy investment treaty update fails to win over environmentalists. German gas prices could triple as Russia reduces supply, expert says. The Guardian, Germany steps up emergency gas plan amid fears of Lehman Brothers effect on energy system. The Times, G7 moles call for necessary public gas investments. Politico Europe, German utilities prepare to turn on coal plants amid gas crisis. Bloomberg, breaking views, Germany's gas action plan pulls its punches. Protests follow U.S. Supreme Court's move to overturn abortion protection as clinics begin to close. Sky News, live news updates from June 24, U.S. Supreme Court overturns Roe v. Wade, Ukrainian forces to retreat from Severodonetsk. Financial Times, tear gas used to disperse protesters outside Arizona Capitol building, officials say. Fears grow for Afghanistan earthquake survivors left without shelter. The Guardian, Taliban calls off search for Afghanistan earthquake survivors and resists UN help. The Telegraph, Afghanistan earthquake victims face struggles getting aid. The Independent, the Irish Times view on the earthquake in Afghanistan, ill-equipped to respond. The Irish Times. The Irish Times, too much suffering, survivors talk of quake's deadly toll in Afghanistan. Terror investigation after 2 dead and 14 wounded in shooting at Oslo nightclub. Sky News, mass shooting at Norway pub being investigated as terrorism, police. The Guardian, Oslo shooting, 2 people killed and many injured in attack at gay bar. The Independent, man arrested following shooting in central Oslo which left 2 dead. The Northern Echo, 2 people killed in Oslo nightclub shooting terrorist act. World leaders condemn U.S. abortion ruling as backward step. The Guardian, U.S. Supreme Court ruling triggers rush of new restrictions on abortion. Financial Times, thousands of pro-choice supporters gather in NYC to protest Roe v. Wade decision. The Independent, a devastating blow to women's rights in America. Financial Times, opinion, overturning Roe v. Wade begins a dangerous new era. This was all for the news. Thanks for listening. Please do not forget to like and subscribe.